We're not even in December yet, and already West Ham are being linked with another striker to replace the one that we just got that turned out to be another one that turned out to be crap, doesn't suit our system. Couldn't make it up, really couldn't. But apparently West Ham are looking now to striker options for this upcoming January transfer window because of obviously the situation with Niclas Fullkrug, which has been a complete and utter disaster. And the player is looking to move on. It's like the club are going to try and cash in on him in January. A massive hit. We're going to be selling him for probably, I'm guessing, 10 to 15 million. I mean, if you get 15 million, I'll be surprised. Really, really bad bit of business for West Ham, as we talked about a fair bit now. But it looks like we are exploring options. Now, the video, this is regarding a recent article in regards to players that we're looking at, and in particular, I want to talk about one today. Before I get into the video, though, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. It's free to do so. It takes 2 seconds, and it really does help us. It helps us grow. We want to keep going, of course. We want to keep building. And same for that like button. I know it doesn't sound like a lot. It takes literally not even 2 seconds, less than that to click like. But I'll tell you what, it does help us a lot, because once you get likes, it allows YouTube to then push it onto other people's searches, and they then pick up the channel and get to see us. And that's what we want. We want to try and engage more people and do as best we can. So we do really appreciate your support. So thank you for everything you do. Let's talk about West Ham. The joys of talking about West Ham. Why not? I just did the Newcastle preview, by the way, and I did the podcast as well. The striker situation at West Ham is actually, we are a laughing stock to the rest of the Football League. Honestly, unbelievable. They are absolutely laughing at us at the fact that we are just shambles when it comes to recruiting strikers. They just can't believe it. Look, Niclas Fullkrug again, another one to add to the list. We brought in all this hype, and we're going to spend a bit of money. We've got this guy in, blah, blah, blah. Total disaster. What an absolute disastrous signing Fullkrug has been. I mean, for West Ham standards, it's bad, isn't it? Even that, for that, it is really bad. I can't think of a worse, bigger flop at West Ham, in terms of what money we've spent and the little we've got out of him. But the fact is, he looks like he's on his way, and he'll be going in January. West Ham are going to cut their losses. It's bad news for West Ham. But we are interested in Kolo Muani, Randal Kolo Muani from PSG. Now, I don't buy this. I'm going to be honest. This is something I'm not overly sold on at the moment. My feelings might well change, but apparently he's available on loan. That's the bit I can agree to. That's the bit I can kind of understand. There's 2 parts of this that make me go, okay, there's a reason why something could happen here. One of them is the player wants to come to the Premier League, understandably, according to reports, by the way. This could be a lot of rubbish, but this is what the reports are suggesting, that the player is keen on a move to the Premier League, and he wants to play football. He wants to be the main man. He wants to be coming into a club and be the main man spearheading a front line. Now, let's get it right. If we will get to someone of his quality, obviously a French international, I think he's played over 20 games now for France, scored a fair few goals as well. He's done well for PSG. I think he came from Frankfurt, if I'm rightly. I'm just going to quick look now. Yeah, he came from Frankfurt. He joined PSG back in 2023. He's not even been there very long. He's only played 34 games for them. He scored 8 goals. He did the same amount actually for Frankfurt, scoring 16. France has been decent. 27 appearances, France, 8 goals. He's a fast player, really fast. He's actually drawn comparisons to Henry, Thierry Henry, kind of his ability. He's very pacey. He's very good in one-on-one situations and a great finisher. Look, this ticks a lot of boxes for West Ham. This is sort of the player we want to be going for. But the fact is, Manchester United are very, very keen on him. Of course, they've got this shiny new manager. Ruben Amorim wants to get his players over the line. If you're the player, you're going to be looking at the options you've got available to you. Muani's going to be looking at this thinking, Christ, I've got West Ham down the bottom of the league, looking like a so dysfunctional mess. Or do I want to go to Manchester United now? No doubt a bit of optimism there. Newcastle as well, probably even a better option, let's be honest, with the way the way they're playing. No doubt going to be even a better option after they've absolutely wiped the floor with West Ham, which I'm pretty sure they will on Monday night. Sorry to be negative, but I do think that's going to be the case. So I'm not going here going, oh, it's going to happen. I mean, unless XWH employee provides the update and says, yep, it's all go, West Ham are going to go all out to get him, then I'd probably be a bit more optimistic. But at the moment, we're just going off news. I'm going off a little bit of scraps, really. But this is what's doing the rounds at the moment. Quite interesting. This is the article from Team Talk, right? It's quite funny. They talk about the player and the fact that West Ham are keen and blah, 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 blah. I won't read it word for word. But one part did really make me laugh, right? So they were talking about the fact that why he'd be quite interested in West Ham and what the comparisons to other clubs. Because they're talking about it's a three-horse race at the moment. Talking about it's Manchester United leading it with Newcastle and West Ham very keen. But the player, as I say, wants Premier League football. He wants to be the main man. So he might be attracted to come to West Ham. Bearing in mind he'd be alone as well to the end of the season. So he might think, well, look, I'll get a few months over there, do really well, and then I'll get my big move back to whatever, right? That's what's making me go, yeah, maybe. I don't think so. I mean, he went to, let's have a look. I think he went to PSG, I think, for 80 million euros. 80 million euros. For 85, in fact, in total. I don't see him coming to West Ham personally. I think it's going to be a little bit of a stretch too far for us, especially the way things are. But you never know. You never know, do you? And I'm not saying it's out of the water yet. Let's wait and see if we get a proper firm update from a real credible source in someone like X, who can hopefully give us that sort of bit of comfort knowing that we are going to try and get the player. But wait and see at the moment. But as I say, this I'm not saying it's completely unlikely, but it's hard to believe. But I'm sorry, I wanted to say what was on this article from Team Talk. It did make me laugh at the bottom. So he said about West Ham. West Ham, meanwhile, don't really lack any options in the striker department. What? Mikel Antonio, Danny Ings, and Niclas Fullkrug are all available for Lopetegui. Well, fucking Fullkrug isn't. He hasn't been available for 3 months. I've seen him. Mikel Antonio and Danny Ings. Is that what we were saying? Is that? Oh yeah. Don't bother, Muani. We've got Danny Ings and Antonio. We're fine. I mean, what a load of rubbish. Anyway, it just made me laugh. He did add at the bottom though. The 3 front men for West Ham he's talking about have scored just 2 Premier League goals between them this season. How embarrassing is that? As such, it's easy to see why West Ham will be looking to willing to take a chance on Kolo Muani. I don't think he'll be taking a chance. I mean, look, I don't know enough about the guy in terms of his personality, but I've seen enough of him as a player. He looks very, very good, doesn't he? A really top draw player. He's actually featured a fair bit for PSG. It just seems that they are willing now to let him go on loan. He wants to be a main man. He wants to come to England. So, look, there's an opportunity there. And we know when we've seen Tim Steidten, much I've been slating Steidten over the last couple of weeks in terms of a few bits and pieces I'm not impressed with him. I've got to say his negotiation skills are, outstanding. The players he managed to get over the line. You've only got to look at the Todibo deal. So, that was something that was similar, wasn't it? Very similar. Manchester United were very keen. Juventus were very keen. And who got him? West Ham and got him. So I'm not to say it's out, it's impossible. It's just because it's early days at the moment. And I think as well, because I'm just so optimistic when it comes to West Ham, I'm feeling so bloody flat about the whole thing. It's hard, isn't it, to get excited. I'm feeling like that regarding the game this weekend. And I'm feeling like that regarding transfers. I'm feeling just so like, really, do they want to come to West Ham at the moment? Because if you're outside looking in, would you be looking at West Ham thinking that's the place for me? I'm not sure. Not at the moment, especially with old Loppy Bollocks in charge. Want him gone. If he goes, get decent manager come through the door. I think when we've got more of a chance of attracting players. At the moment, I think there'll be a lot of players watching this thinking, do I really want to be joining this car crash? So yeah, as I say, Randal Kolo Muani is a player that West Ham are reported to be very interested in. We've got a fair bit of competition. And he could be our next striker. You never know. 87th time lucky. Who knows? Come on, you ones.